My name is Rene, also known as Zeblock, and today I want to share with you how you can use the raw image file to create some new masks, and in this case to process hair, because it can be quite tricky and sometimes you want to have other tools to use when you do stuff in Photoshop. And I mean, you could also use the color range, or you could use the smart radius to cut out this hair, but in this case I did use the raw file to put out all that light data we have in the file and then use that as a mask. So let me show you how we can use that to render out the hair. Now here is the original. Let me just disable a quick mask I made. So here we have a picture of my friend and a really talented and creative model called Lund Kjergaard, and thanks a ton for letting me use this picture. If you want to know more about her, there's a link in the YouTube description. As you can see, we have a background, we have some hair. And now normally you could, use the mask and then try to use the smart radius and then paint in where the hair is, or you can go to the channels and see where is the biggest difference between the hair color and the hair light value or color and the background light value or color, and then use that to try to differentiate the stuff and then make a mask from that. So there's a lot of different ways we can do it, but I'm going to show you how we can do it with the raw image, since I have it here anyways. If I double click on it, you can see I get this raw editor. Now let me just enable that layer mask again and see what I did. Now her hair, I can just brush it back. I just cut right through it, and I'm going to make a new layer and then use that layer to the same here I did here. And I'm just going to do it from the start right here so we can see why I did it and how we could do it. So grab your pencil and let's edit out first her arm real quick. I don't have to be that precise, just a quick tutorial here. And the muscle. Alright, so now I just go crazy within here and here. Now that might be a bit weird, but it will make sense later. Now go into the layer mask and fill that with black so it will get erased as transparent. Alright, so now we will create a new smart object, but we will do it as a copy, because if we make changes, it will affect both layers, and we'll be making some changes in this top layer, and we don't want that to be affected in the bottom layer. So double click on that, and now we're going to zoom in on the hair, and we have a lot of data here to manipulate, and we're going to manipulate it in that way, so we create either a light or a black, so we can create a difference between the hair and the background. And we want to focus on creating really light background and a really dark hair, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter, because we can always invert the color. So I'm just going to first dial up the exposure and then play around a bit, and keep in mind I'm trying to create that contrast between the hair and the background. So let's just play a little bit around. Now we did use the camera raw editor, and if you don't have a raw object, let me just create a normal image. This is no longer a normal a raw object. You would still go out in filter and use the camera raw filter and try to play around with the settings. Now keep in mind you won't have the same data values or light values, because it's not a raw image, so it doesn't contain that much light range, but you can still try around and play with it. Okay, so now we come so far. I'm just going to desaturate it, and then I'm going to make a curve, because in my case there's still too gray, and the background is too gray. I needed to get it more white, so I will pick this and say, okay, this value I need to have a bit brighter, and the other values I need to have darker. So now you can see there's getting a difference between the background and the hair, and we can maybe pull, no, that was too much. Okay, now let's just merge all, and we can call that the hair alpha. Okay, and then let's just create a new smart object with copy, and then delete that layer mask, and then put in, if you copy this, Control A, Control C, and then put it in this smart object. So create a new smart object and hold on Alt while you enter it. You can see a tutorial on that here, and then paste it in here so we can see what we have here. Alright, now we won't need that layer anymore, and let's just deselect that and see. Okay, so in this case we actually erased all the hair, so we want to invert that, so we kept all the hair, and we don't need her face or her hands, just the hair, but we can take a look at that later. So for now, let's just, oh, I didn't quite delete that. Oh, that was because I had a selection. So delete that layer and then create a new folder and put in that new layer in that folder, and then rename to hair alpha, just to make it, you know, a little bit easier. And also create a new layer mask and make it a black one, so we won't keep anything from this layer. Now turn on this layer again, and now we have the hair alpha out, so we can start beginning to draw in the hair just like that, and this side as we did before, and you can see it's nice and rendered out. Now in this case over here we had some problems. If and it's going to take some adjustment. We can either try just to render it out with the pen tool, but the reason we get this problem is if we enter the layer mask, as we can see here, it has too much, the background was too light and we didn't create enough difference between the background and the hair. So as you can see, it's almost the same here, so it won't process it the right way, but you can try and cut it out manually on, you know, try the other tools that we have now. I told you about the color range picker, or we could go by the layer mask and the smart radius. There's a lot of ways to do it, and you know, it's always nice to know different ways of doing it. So here I'm providing you with yet another way of doing it. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you found it useful, maybe you'll also find this tutorial over here useful, or perhaps this tutorial over here.